We're live. What's up, Money Multipliers? We got Miss Queen Money Multiplier, Hannah Kessler with us today. We got Jason Simple, Gabe, Brain Fouch, Shauna Decker up in Arctic, New York, and of course, Stephen Nagy here. So put your questions in the chat box. We got a fun show. We're all in a good mood. It's December. It's chilly in Florida. It's snowing in New York. I don't know what it's doing in Idaho, but we're going to get into it today on Ask Me Anything. So put your questions in the chat box. We'll get to those. We'll be right back to do some intros in about 14 seconds. All right. Welcome to Ask Me Anything. I'm Stephen Nagy. If you guys missed the show yesterday, you guys missed my beautiful Santa Claus beard that I had going, but it had to get shaved off. So I'm back, baby. Sexy's back, as they say. What do you guys got? Just kidding. All right. So look at those reactions.
No, but it was perfect because Stephen and I recorded a Christmas podcast together, and it was perfect for the Christmas season. He had his Santa hat on and his scruffy beard.
Exactly. So if you want to see it, you got to check it out on the recording on Christmas Eve. What else are you going to do on Christmas Eve other than fight with family? Nah, let's watch the Money Multiplier. So we'll get that out on Christmas Eve. But with that being said, pass it over to Brian Fouts. What's up, Brian?
What's up, everybody? Brian Fouts here up in northern Idaho. Finally got my office set up and got heat in here, so it's not 30 degrees in my office anymore, which is awesome. So I can look outside and see the cold, but be nice and comfy. But, yep, been doing a lot of calls this week and have a lot of challenging ones, but it's been fun. But with that, I'll pass it over to, I don't know who is beside me.
Who do you want?
Jason.
Jason.
Thank you, pal. From the cold down to the kind of cold, warm-ish down Orlando, Florida. Fouts, your new studio looks good, man. Well done.
Thanks.
Yeah. Excited to be with everybody today. Just having fun talking about infinite banking as always. Yeah, pop us in and out. Now we're going to go over to Miss Hannah Kessler because she's got some stuff to tell us. Guaranteed.
Hey, y'all. So good to see everybody. I know I've been popping in and out this year, but I promise I'm going to be making it if I can. Next week, I go back to Acapulco, Mexico. I've been spending some time down there with my mastermind group. It's been really, really good. But I just want to tell everybody this Saturday, I will be speaking on a virtual event. And this is for, I would say, my women. It's for a group called the Real Estate Goddesses. And I'm telling you, all the speakers that are coming on, I've known them for a long, long time. It's going to be a really, really good event. So shoot me a message if you want to come out to that virtual event. I'll let you in. But other than that, I'm just happy to be here. So Gabe, what are you doing? Oh, you're muted.
Okay, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Awesome.
That's a good shirt, Gabe.
Yeah, I got my merch. So thank you, Shauna, for sending me the links. But I've been busy trying to buy an asset that I'm excited to start to cultivate for. It's gonna be like a next part of my life, buying a farm. So got conditionally approved and getting all that in, but it's been a process, like a financial colonoscopy, how Brent says. So I look forward to these conversations, and been working on a training with Jason. So that's been keeping me not getting depressed. How about that? Because of how much I'm gonna pay in interest to to the banks. But luckily, with the IBC, I'm gonna be able to eliminate them in the near future. But anyway, enough about me. I'll pass it over to Shauna.
How do you pass it over to me, Stephen? Oh, hey, here I am. Look at all the snow outside. Isn't it?
Is that real?
It is real. It is real.
Whoa.
That is amazing. Because first off, last month you had the Christmas tree up. It was in like the beginning of October or something. And I was like, that can't be real, but it was real. And now you got the snow-covered background. It's wild.
Yep, it's real. I put the light on and I just stare at it all night. So that's what I'm going to do after we hang up here. But I'm excited for today because I missed you guys last week. I traveled away to Disneyland for Thanksgiving. I'm still in the Thanksgiving and Christmas spirit, so I'm happy to be here. And and answer some questions.
I think you're always in the Christmas spirit. Didn't your Christmas tree go up like before
Okay.
Thanksgiving?
You know what I just realized is, Gabe, you just reminded me of when you said farm. I live also next to a literal Christmas farm. So like, I don't know if it's like subconscious, like, or subliminal. As I'm driving into my driveway, there's just rows and rows and rows of Christmas trees. So I thought of you the other day, Jason, because it clicked. I was like, maybe this is part of it.
I love it. And let's all do this for Joe. Let's have some fun with Joe, who just got here. Everybody do this with their camera. Go off, come back on. Go off, come back on. Watch it. Look, he loves it. He loves it.
Little things. I need that today.
How are you, Mr. Helock?
Busy. So the calendar is still full, still out almost 2 weeks, and building policies and helping people. And I have just as much snow as Shauna, so I'm not as happy about it, but that's the way it is for now.
I was watching the videos of the Buffalo Bills. You said you live right by the stadium, and it was wild last week before that night game. I mean,
Yeah.
I saw those fans just like trunching through feet of snow to get to their seats. You guys are dedicated up there. I had somebody I was with, and they don't watch a lot of football. They're like, why don't these idiots just build a roof on their stadium? I was like,
And the one
that's not what it be football, you know? Like,
They spent $2 billion upgrading that stadium, Steven. Did you hear that?
right. I think that's
They're building one across the street too. Is
Yeah.
that one going to get a roof? Probably not.
Nope. No roof.
Nope. So welcome to Buffalo.
And someone, and just think of the profit in that thing, man. If you're paying $2 billion, you're going to build another stadium. Whew. Man.
All right, cool. We got any questions coming in?
Let's see. I think we got one, maybe.
Yep. Put
Okay.
those questions in the box. Put those questions in.
Yep, put your questions in the chat if you're new.
Monica. Hey, Monica. She looks like a real estate goddess, Hannah. You might want to send her an invite. Thanks for being here.
Okay, so Monica saw, it must be Chris on Shonda Sumter. I know that Chris just went down to was it Costa Rica to speak at her event?
So close. Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico? I know it was 2 words.
It was south of Buffalo.
It's an island down there somewhere, I guess.
Somewhere that has 2
Not
words.
Buffalo, yes.
Okay.
It doesn't have snow, I guarantee you that.
So Chris loves Shonda, and Shonda is like super fond of the infinite banking. She wants Chris to speak quarterly to the group, so we'll definitely be doing stuff over there in 2025. But Monica is saying, yes, I was told that if you purchase whole life, you can take against it. Is that really true? And within how long?
Yep. And within 30 days.
Designed properly, though. And what we mean by designed properly is that it has to be designed so that I have access to the cash value immediately. So like, here's what I mean. If you try to call up your brother who works for State Farm and you say, hey, I heard about this concept. Can you build me one of these policies? Most of the time, they're going to give you a policy with 100% base premium. So here's what happens. We got to add on the paid up additions rider to that policy. Paid up additions, you'll hear us sometimes refer to it as PUA for short, but that's that moving part that allows us to have out that cash value immediately, year one, month one from that policy.
Shauna, thank you for sending me that message. I was laughing too. Susan, you are the sweetest person on earth. I am definitely not the spreadsheet guy. My spreadsheets have colors on them. They don't do the things they're supposed to do. We need Fouts is probably better than I am at it. You're talking about Mr. Craig Yenny, for sure. So,
okay. Before we go on to Susan's question, though, is there anything else we want to talk about the whole life policies before we move on? Good.
We answered that question.
I get one, maybe where to go, where to watch to educate yourself.
Who builds these?
Somebody that
builds
holds
these specially designed
somebody
policies?
that holds links.
I would go, if we can, let's drop some links in the chat box, but that's where I would start. I mean, I start right there at themoneymultiplier.com. Underneath the resources tab, there's a presentation. Start there, that 90-minute presentation, just to understand the why IBC, how are we doing this, what even is this infinite banking concept. Do that, or read Nelson Nash's book, Becoming Your Own Banker. Those are one of the two requirements.
Great. Okay.
If you want live and interactive training, Jason and I do Thursdays at 3:00. So, do you want to tell them more about that, Jason?
Yeah, every Thursday at 3. If you want to sign up, we can. Well, I don't know how we'll get you the message right now, but if you want to sign up, Gabe and I are in week 5. We're putting all the videos back on YouTube. So we're making IBC simple, Black Belt Boot Camp. Get you on whether you're a white belt or someone that's advanced, we'll have something for everyone, talking about mindset, talking about the math, and then real stories every week. So
that sounds fun. Okay, so Susan is talking about Craig. I am building a spreadsheet for education purposes with my policy and investments. I hear you're a spreadsheet guy. Can I send it to you? So do you think we can send it to Craig?
Sure.
Okay. Susan, you can email Craig at chrisnoggle.com, and he will probably look it over for sure.
Love it.
Yeah.
Just as sure.
Okay, Joe.
Yeah.
Edie just wants to make sure you got her emails.
Megan will respond.
Okay.
Can I just say this? The quickest way to get a hold of Joe is just text him. Text him or just call him out of the blue.
So Megan is going through all my emails and responding to everybody and getting everybody on my calendar because, like I said, I am booked out 2 weeks right now. So if you do call me, I'm probably going to be on the phone. So in order to call me right now at this stage of the game and talk to me, you have to take an hour on the calendar.
Okay. All right. Donnie is saying when that rider falls off, you can still take out cash value.
Yes.
Okay.
When the PUA rider drops off. Hey, let's get more specific.
Okay.
The cash value can always be borrowed. As long as there's cash value in your policy, it can always be borrowed as long as the policy is current on the premiums.
But when he's saying that rider is dropping off, what's he talking about?
So there's a paid up addition rider that we added in these policies to allow it to be efficient for infinite banking. These are specially designed, as we say. Now, those riders are not always permanent. Sometimes they come off, and if they do, it does not affect your ability to borrow the cash value. So that's just kind of what he's asking. Interesting question, by the way.
And I'll add, because sometimes life happens and I got to just drop my premium right now. So the whole life policies, when they're designed for banking, you can always reduce down those premiums. But here's my advice. Number one, just always consult with your implementation person. If you're a part of the Money Multiplier, talk with them. They'll help you do all of this. But if you have to drop it down, just at least pay the minimum. The minimum is $10 a month or $120 a year into the paid up additions rider to keep it attached on. Because the funky rule is if you don't pay anything into it, it's going to fall off, and then you got to go through this whole application change to get it added back on. And just don't do that. Just pay the $10 a month, keep it on.
Okay. Monica chimed in again and just saying that she was speaking with an agent and said no, not at all, maybe to borrowing against it. And that's why she was asking, because she purchased $50K whole life.
It was traditional whole life, not specially designed. That
And
is
is
why.
it $50K of death benefit? Because if so, then the premium's going to be pretty small, and it's not going to be a very well-designed policy for infinite banking.
Yeah.
Or if it's $50K a year, then in several years, you're going to have nice cash value and be able to have that thing really grow.
But it might take some time if it's not specially designed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Liz, hey Liz from Nashville.
Wait.
She's at Nashville. What?
Go back to Monica. Monica, if you want my support on that, reach out to me, send me an email. Hannah spelled the same ways, forwards and backwards. hannah@themoneymultiplier.com, and I can help support you there. But yeah, what it tells to me is that this is probably just a traditional whole life, which is not bad. 100% base premiums are not bad, but if you want my support on using it for banking, reach out to me.
Liz is saying, how would you best go about explaining the benefits of IBC to someone who is debt-free and doesn't have interest payments going out? They're stuck on the interest payments to the insurance company.
Mindset.
Great question. Yeah, great question though. Super common.
Yeah, I get done quite a bit. I'll take a crack. I mean, first off, it's you got to look at what knowledge do they have about the infinite banking concept. If they don't have any knowledge about IBC and how the concept works, then they're going to go down the wrong road, the wrong path when you start talking to them. So they have to get educated on the overall concept, because what they're looking at is just the policy, the numbers of the policy, the interest, that kind of stuff. But how would they use it? What are they going to go use it for? And what's the long-term benefit? So I would direct them to the trainings that answer these questions automatically, rather than trying to, I don't know, talk to them and try to, convince them, because we don't want to convince somebody, because we already have all the videos and the content out there. So I would point them to the 90-minute video first off.
Liz, it's going to depend on it. Brian, great answer, but it's going to depend on what is their goal. Like, why are you looking to help them understand this? Are they trying to protect the family? Are they someone that buys everything with cash, and then they're giving up the opportunity cost? It's really the way that you can save. Like, if this person's good and disciplined, which it sounds like they are, so that's awesome. But if they're able to save in one hand and they're able to use the insurance company's money, while that's always growing, it's also always protecting the family. And then you can go ahead and have that growth being earned while you're putting it to work. Right. So I can see why, if they're paying cash, they're like, hey, I paid for it, I'm done with it. But they're giving up a lot of opportunity on two ends, one to earn and one to protect.
This is one of my favorite things to get into, but I'm going to cut it short and I won't go on a big tangent. Okay.
Go on. Go.
But Liz, it's kind of what Jonah and Jeremiah always say. And shout out to the banking bros. If y'all don't know the banking bros, go search them up on YouTube, TikTok, and different things. But they call it the spend and save method, right? And all this concept is talking about is the opportunity cost of the money. Because, yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't got any debt, right? I got good debt, but not all of it is bad debt. But instead of me, like I just posted out a podcast episode of me using my policy to go and pay my tax bill. I had the money sitting in my checking account to go pay my property tax bill for the year, but I didn't. I used my policy because from there, I took it out, I paid Volusia County, and then now I'm paying myself back inside of that policy. And the reason I use the policy money instead of just paying cash for it is because now I'm never losing out on that $10,000 that I took out from the policy. If I were to just go pay cash for that tax bill, the $10,000 is gone. It's left my hands and left my family forever. And in order to get the $10,000 back inside of my pocket, earning me interest again, I got to go work for it or earn it somehow. So they got to understand opportunity costs in a transaction. You're either going to give up the interest you could have earned by paying cash for it, or you're paying the interest to somebody else, aka bank financing it. So they got to come around that. Now, if they're a very analytical person, this is exactly why the gains projector exists. I actually did the gains projector on a presentation to a group of accredited investors, because that's what they're thinking. When they see the whole life policy, they think, okay, this is my investment. Where no, the policy is not the investment. The policy is just where I warehouse my money safely to protect it. And then through the policy is how I go purchase my investment, because now I'm double dipping on the money. I'm making interest in my policy, guaranteed tax-free growth, and I'm making interest over here in my investment deal. And so that gains projector, I literally mathematically proved the differences of paying cash for an investment versus using the policy. And I agree, in the short-term mindset, you compare those two apples to apples comparison, paying cash for the investment, you're going to be ahead in the earlier years. But is this for the short term or the long term? It's the long term. That's rule number 1 of Nelson Nash's law, right, Jason? Think long range. But at the day, if I go out 10, 15, 20 years, I'm way ahead over here using my policy to go and fund my investments. So it's just a big mindset shift that has to happen. Now, last thing I'll say, interest payments to the insurance company. This is the biggest thing that we got to shift our mindsets on. How I think about my interest payments to the insurance company, I love paying my interest payments because you know why? These are mutually owned insurance companies. What that means is that I'm a policy holder with them. Thus, I am part owner of that company because it's a mutually owned company, not a stock held company. So at the end of the day, when I pay that loan interest, that's showing profits to the insurance company's books. Well, who shares in the profits at the end of the year? Me, the policy holder. You know, so it just comes out in the wash. And then, okay, I said it last time, but last thing I'll say, go to my podcast show and look at the episode, The Money Multiplier Calculator. And I prove to you that you can make money all day long, earning 10% at the same time you're paying 20%. And if you think about that, it's kind of like in our presentation where we get into the mysteries of money, earning 4% at the same time I'm paying 6%. Can I still make money? And most of us think no, because if I earn 4, pay 6, I'm losing 2. But we got to start understanding how money really works and interest works. It's not the rate that's killing us, y'all. It's the volume of the interest and the control that we're leaving to other people. So that was good, Liz. That was a good question.
Yeah, very nicely said. And shout out to the Cash Compound Banking Bros, who is a organization under the Money Multiplier umbrella, and Liz is an agent over there. So thanks for being here, Liz.
And Hannah, thank you for the short version. It was awesome, as always.
This is a system. It negates the interest and doesn't really play a game with the numbers. It's the system.
True that. Okay, I'm going to give a shout out to Brent. He says, I just pulled my first loan from my policy to pay some debt off. Excited to get this policy up and running. Those books are such good reads. I listen to them once every 3 months. So awesome job, Brent. And Judy Fritz is saying, can you give me the top 5 reasons to get a whole life policy when you are in your 20s and 5 reasons to get a policy in your 60s? This is a really awesome question.
Everyone say hi to Judy. Hi, Judy. I like this question, though. Someone take it.
Ariana got a policy at 10 years old. She will never have a 401k, an IRA, or any kind of retirement vehicle because she pays herself first. She's in control, and she will always have this policy, and she will have many more to structure on top of the first one.
Yeah. I mean, I would say in your 20s, one of the top ones for me would be is that you have longevity for the policy to grow, and that compound is going to be just incredible when you're at 60 versus starting when you're 60, starting at 20. The compounding is just going to be amazing down the road. So very, very effective policies.
I think they're the same. I mean, depending on the people, right, Judy, and what their goals are, it's the same reason to take back control of your finances. It's the same thing. You're just deciding whether you're starting at 20 or 60. It's just when you learned about this, what are your goals, your objectives, and then you can build everything. I mean, you get all the same things. You get protection, you get control, you get the guarantees, right? You get multiple guarantees. So it's just a system to control all your money and to keep more in your family. Because remember, like for the last 5 decades, we've been giving away the average American 35 cents of every dollar to interest payments. You know, if you're paying for everything cash, cool, you're giving up opportunity cost. But then on the other side with taxes, like, is anybody here not paying enough taxes? Anybody in the panel? You guys want to pay more taxes? If the answer is no,
just need to make more money.
I want to pay more.
Well, think about this.
Make more.
We're giving up 40 cents of every dollar to taxes. And a lot of it's the silent tax of inflation that's caused by the current banking system. And so if you add those two numbers together, that's 75 cents of every dollar. We're saving less than 3%. So if you wonder why you're stuck in a rat race, whether you're 20 or 60, it's the same answer. You just don't understand the environment that you're operating in. So it gives you that control.
You have to pay yourself first and be in control.
Yep.
Here's my 5. Go ahead.
I was going to say, one of the ones that say 21 at 60 is a lot of people, my clients, that are more focused on generational wealth. So they might be getting policies at 60, but they're more for passing the money out to that next generation than maybe accumulation and putting that to work outside the policy. So as an example, I got a client right now that did one on him, his son-in-law, son and daughter-in-law, and 5 grandkids. He could have done it all in himself, but he'd rather spread it out throughout the family and affect their family for generations to come. And he's doing family banking. So I see family banking more often when on the 60-year-old patriarchs of the family.
Good. And here's my 5. Actually, Jason, I totally agree with you. And I thought about this more and more. I think the goals of these different demographics would be different, but the reasons of why we're doing it, I think, are all the same. Number 1, tax-free growth. So the government's out of my hair. I have protection. So nobody can come after that policy besides me, myself, and I. I think it creates good discipline habits. See, this is where Dave Ramsey loves me here, because you should live within your means. You should be budgeting. I feel that where you store that money should be within the policy. That's where Dave Ramsey loves me. So it creates the discipline habits. I also have a death benefit that gets paid out tax-free, because it's not an if, it's a when. And then also I'm keeping the money liquid money. The hedges against inflation, I'll say.
Hannah just told everybody here we're going to die. That wasn't very nice, Hannah.
I mean, wouldn't one reason in your 20s too, though, is just because you're probably going to be healthier than later in life, potentially?
Yeah, true. I mean, now that I have policies on me now, great. Because later on, maybe I get some health consequences or, oh my gosh, I have somebody, get this, her sister, 13 years old, got hit by a car and now has traumatic brain injury, and no insurance company would touch her. Imagine if she had a policy prior to that time, but she can't get one now because of that incident that happened. So let's talk about this. All right, we were kind of talking about this offline, just real quick. There's something on policies. I actually just did this for one mother here. There's something that you can actually add on to a whole life policy called the child's benefit rider. And I did this for her because her child had or still has mild aortic stenosis, which don't ask me what that is. I had to do a whole bunch of Googling, okay? But it has to do with the whole cardiovascular system. And we're just concerned that in the future, we don't know if the insurance companies will consider him because of that disease that he has. So we add on that child's benefit rider, and it gets him $25,000 in death benefit, and it's attached on until he's age 24, and he can convert that $25,000 in death benefit to a whole life policy anytime from now until he's age 24, and he's locking in his insurability. So you just never know, and death benefit is so important. If you were on the Wealth Wednesday webinar today, I think Chris Noggle really nailed it home with that.
Super true. All right. Christian says Jason is the Thanksgiving Founding Fathers video posted yet, so I can get caught up before tomorrow.
Christian James is on it. Well, I'm not sure if you'll have it by tomorrow, but I don't think he knew that we were filming on Thanksgiving. So we'll get that.
I didn't know if you were either. I got the reminder one day out, and I was like, should I tell Jason he's got a webinar for tomorrow? And I go, I bet you he's going to do it. Like, honestly, that's what I thought. I was like, I knew.
We did it. Connor came and joined. Gabe brought his super cute son as well. It was awesome. I had to talk Gabe into it, though. He's like, Jason, it's Thanksgiving. I'm like, man, we're getting on the map, brother. We're getting on the map. Let's go. We got to train. So.
Okay, ready now is saying, I just need to know where to go to get this started before too much longer. Time keeps ticking and I am losing out. Someone help.
Well, there's the link in the chat, right?
Yes. So we don't just do these Ask Me Anythings for fun and just to be here with you. We also do them because we we can be those people that set that up for you.
I mean, technically, you're doing this for fun, Shauna.
I am doing this for fun. That's right.
Steven, when you leave your chair, you have to turn off the on air. You're off.
Oh, that's true. All right.
I'll
do better.
Get out of here. Go to mentors.beyourownbanker.com to get on our calendar. And when I say our calendar, I don't mean mine.
Their name is Ready Now. They're ready now.
They are.
I like that.
Okay. Anderson is saying, I'm teaching my 17-year-old about this. He wants a policy and he has a small part-time job. So shout out to you.
Perfect.
You're doing something great. Okay.
Hey. Real quick. 17-year-old depends. I would just want to know when they turn 18. You got to be 18 in order to own a policy, but Anderson, dad or mom, you can always own that policy on your child, get them started now, have them pay you the premiums, you pay it into the policy, and then when they are 18, you can always transfer the ownership over to them. And that's the way you can kind of get about it.
Yeah,
My youngest was a 17-year-old kid, and we did the application on his 18th birthday. That's cool.
And on the same vein, right? If they're a dependent as well, like say he's part-time job and he's not making a ton, but they have a certain number they want to put in, then maybe the parents are claiming as a dependent. And then we're looking at what the parents have as far as coverage and reverse engineering to try to get that number. Like there's a lot of creative ways to get to what the goal is. So.
Okay. Oh, sorry. And then Anderson is saying, what would be the best route to take, either pay for college or continue to grow to get into real estate? So with maybe with the policy, would you be paying it to pay for college? Or wait.
I mean, it depends if the kid wants to go to college. I mean, I'll tell you from one college dropout to the other, best decision I ever made. But, I think I know some people want the experience of college. They don't know what they want to do and different things. I'll tell y'all this, okay? You guys can love me or hate me, but here's my opinion. Stop majoring in business. It drives me nuts. Why are y'all going to college to major in business? I feel like we need to get linked up with mentors and people that you want to be in their field and follow them, do some internships with them. Anyways, but I think it's just running the numbers. I think what you really got to sit down, there's more context that we need here, but you could do both. You could keep doing your real estate, keep doing saving up for the college stuff. I think there just needs to be more context there.
I agree. And then Drew is saying Orion, which is his newest baby that's maybe 8 hours old, will be getting a policy in the next 30 days.
Awesome.
And why Drew has to wait 30 days is because we got to wait for the Social Security number.
It could be 15 days, right? We'll see. So, and congrats again, Drew. Steven, what were you calling baby Orion earlier? We were talking about that before we were able to get on air.
Oh, baby Orion. Baby Orion came this morning.
Congrats, Drew.
Wait, I want to tell you all this. I had a call with one gentleman, and he said he wanted to get a policy started on his baby boy. I said, oh, congrats. He says, yeah, he's not here yet. We got 6 more months.
All right. I don't think we have much more questions. Oh, no, we got a couple here, actually. So Margaret would like to get a policy on her 24-year-old granddaughter who has asthma with short hospitalization within a year. Would there be any problems with that or complications?
I don't think so. Just it depends on how severe.
Yeah. And the worst you can do is just go through with it and then find out, during that process.
Yeah. I don't think so, though. You should be fine.
Drew sent me a picture of his high-tech lasers the other day, and I guessed it was a 3D printer or something. I had no idea. I'm sorry, I'm looking at other things. Distracted.
Same. Navigate Your Ventures is saying, how do you write up a contract with your policy to your business to be compliant with paperwork and taxes? I know you are not tax folks, but how would you go about this?
I think he's asking about like a promissory note. Is
Yeah.
that right, Navigate?
I think that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, probably loaning
Yeah,
from yourself to your business and then doing, I don't know, buying a car or whatever it is that you're doing with that.
Yeah, it's just to leave a paper trail. So simple promissory note should make do, but definitely work with your accountant on that.
Okay, Judy Fritz is saying, for hubby, would it be more beneficial to use a 401k loan to pay debt or use a policy loan? And what's the difference?
Who wants this one?
Depends on where your surplus money is. I mean, if you're able to pay off and get back a lot of high interest by using the policy or the 401k loan, and then that's going to be repaid to make that whole again, then that's cool. Or if you have extra money, funds, surplus money that can go into a policy and pay it off and then recapture that money. I mean, then you're protecting the family and doing other things that whole life does. So it just depends on where the money sits and what the goals are, right? I mean, that's how I would look at it. I want to know more.
Yeah, but Judy, we're over age 59 and a half on your husband here. Is there a reason why loan and not just withdrawing the dollars out now? I get it, tax things and difference, but my biggest gripe with the 401k loans is that you're required to pay it back. You know what I mean? And especially if you're at that same employer, they're just going to deduct it out of your paycheck.
It does get paid back with interest, so I mean that is a benefit. But you're right.
Yeah,
I've done it before, so I've seen both sides of it.
What are we using the money for? That's
Debt.
what I want to know.
Debt.
Debt.
So paying out down debt. Is it like in this case? Is it not really that big of a difference?
It is. I mean, one, you're going to create something where you have guaranteed growth, you have it tax free, you have the death benefit, right? You have the legacy piece for the family.
Well,
I
think it sounds like they have it already. They're just saying, which loan should I take it from? It's saying
A 401k, a 401k loan to pay down debt is an excellent idea because the market's at highs right now. I mean, so if you pull out, it's not necessarily a bad thing to not take those losses. So now the money's out of those accounts, which is good. And if you have debt, you're probably paying, 15, 20, 25% interest. So even if the market's doing well at 10%, you're paying 20%, you're still losing money even after factoring in taxes. So take the 401k loan. I mean, I don't see any problem with that whatsoever.
If you could do either, Stephen, which would you do? I think maybe that's a different
either. I mean, if you have both, then you're gonna have to look at what the debt is, and then just factor in exactly what that looks like, and what else are you doing with the 401k? What's the goal with the 401k?
If you have both, use the 401k to pay the debt down, and then take a loan from your policy to go do something to help pay that back, or something.
There's just a lot more info that would be needed for like the specifics on it, but you can't go wrong either way.
I have a question I want to run by all you guys, if I could. So talking to a client the other day, right? A successful attorney in New York and has not much debt, but wants to put a certain amount in the policy, like has a fixed number at 25,000. He wants to put in the policy. Now he can be considered, but it'll be like plus $15 per because of prior medical condition, right? He wants to start something on his wife, maybe because she's younger, healthier, but then her income is a lot lower than his. And since he's insurable, right, he's still insurable, and he wants to use this for banking, he has two boys that both are adults that earn, and he could split the policy between them. Of course, he can't own it on them initially, but he could start on them as well. How would you handle that conversation when he wants to use it for banking, doesn't want to have an inefficient policy on himself, but you probably couldn't do it on his wife for the number he wants to do because she makes 30 grand a year, and he's insurable. Are you guys following?
I think I lost the first part. And
so he's insurable, but it's going to be less efficient. Yeah. He's going to be table rated, or it's going to be plus so much money per thousand to be insured. his wife makes $30,000 a year, but he wants to put $25,000 in.
As W-2, or is it like a little business that she has?
A side part-time job.
So therefore, if it's just a part-time job, she might be able to qualify underneath 3/4 of the death benefit of the husband because she would be a homemaker.
But he's not taking insurance. That's my point.
Convertible term.
He technically doesn't have to have insurance on himself. If
Well-
she's a homemaker, doesn't it go off of the
No,
husband's
because if
income?
he's insurable, they're going to say, hey, you should insure him before they're going to consider, right? That's kind of what I'm asking.
What I would do if it's not making sense, I would do the convertible term to get that death benefit on him. Underwriters will be happy because then that will allow the wife to get more death benefit too. Because then in the future, even if he is table rated right now, who knows? Let's submit a rate change application later on. We can always improve the rates.
Which is really cool. Just to bring back up the table ratings, something I learned this year at your mastermind, Hannah, was that you can submit to try to get a better health rating, and if it for whatever reason, if it was bad, they don't mess with that. They just leave it as is. So you're just going for if you can get it any better.
Bingo.
Okay. Edie is wondering, can you put grandkids on the child rider, or is that a parent direct relationship only?
Which transfers under? Ooh, I don't know that. Let me get back.
I thought it was guardian, legal guardian.
Legal guardian.
That's what I thought it was. Yeah, I remember reading something about it. I'd have to go back and check too, but that's what I thought it was, legal guardian.
Joe will find that out for you.
And then Knights of Israel is asking, can the money you put into the policy be deducted from taxes?
And 1, 2, 3, do with me all.
No.
It's after tax money.
Now, what
So
about corporate
gross tax
insurance? Corporate
Wait, what
policies. What about corporate policies? There you can start to get into that. Absolutely. But
In structured and businesses, it could be different, but I would talk with your tax person.
yep.
And are strokes considered traumatic brain injuries?
Stokes.
Stokes?
Stokes?
Stokes or strokes?
Yeah, strokes.
Either one.
Different strokes for different folks. We just channeled my Nana.
Do you have something in your window, Hannah, like reflecting, or what is that?
It's the sunlight.
I like it. It looks cool.
What is sunlight?
With our hand, it goes off our hand.
I
It's
haven't
pretty
seen
cool.
sunlight in years.
Yeah, it's dark here.
Wait, weren't you excited to move to Idaho?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Did you dye your cat blonde, Hannah? Because I swear it was black yesterday on the podcast.
Oh, this one's black. Wait, look at her.
Oh, you have two.
Is he up there?
Wow.
Oh yeah, there's the cat. Goes
Sitting
like,
up bottom of the
Right,
van.
right?
Sorry, I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Now,
It looks like an issue with the router.
What do you want? What do you want? A laptop? Is that what you just used? Okay.
All right. Okay, so Susan is asking, I am stuck on the property tax example. If you put $1,200 into your policy first and then borrow it to pay the property tax, should you pay back the loan, and aren't you in effect paying $2,400?
so yes, but who's it all coming back to anyways? Me, myself. When I took it out, what I did is I went to bankrate.com. I ran the loan calculator. And anytime that I borrow money for myself, I charge myself 10% interest. And so when I plugged it in and I said, okay, this is the amount, the principal, 10% interest, and I want to pay it back in 12 months because next year I'm going to get hit with another property tax bill. So loan calculator, what does that my monthly payment have to be to me? And it came out to about like $940 a month. So then I redirect that $940 back to myself and into the policy because money flows and grows to where it's respected to. And so that's all I'm doing. I'm just me being my own banker, capitalizing on myself and my banking system rather than losing out on the interest that I could have earned. Because later on, when I put $1 into that policy and I'm getting back $3, who cares that interest that I was paying to myself over these courses of the build-up phase? You know what I mean?
So you're saying a little patience for that long-term vision goes a long way. That's
Yeah.
what I heard.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so Andrew is saying, if I want to pass on my death benefit with instructions to buy more whole life insurance, how do I make sure my beneficiary is still insurable? And then
I mean,
convertible term.
convertible term would be one way to do that, but I mean, you can't tell the future.
Yeah, and if you're talking about how to pass on the death benefit to somebody else's instructions, it's going to take other systems other than a whole life policy. You're going to have a trust or something else, a will, to kind of say, to play marionette beyond the grave. You have to build that system.
The trust would own the policy. The policy would then be the trust would also be the beneficiary, and then that would signify in there. The trust would then purchase the death or the more insurance on whoever your beneficiary would be.
Yeah, and elaborate on that. I did this with another client. They're working with one of our partners right now. Is that you have to have someone that can take the trust over that understands the wishes as well, because you have to have some leeway inside there in that scenario. Because what if there's 5 grandkids? Oh, insure all of them, but only 4 are insurable now. So you got to have some leeway inside there. But the number one thing is that you have to have the trust set up and then managed by somebody that knows what you're doing, why you're doing it, and then can take care of those wishes. So that's a big issue, by the way. Because if you don't have somebody that can do that, then the trust really is not going to be very successful.
Because as it stands, the death benefit just gets paid to your family, like just one lump sum at their, discretion, whatever. So, yeah, like Brian said, I think you need another vehicle. Or no, maybe that was Jason. Sorry.
Yeah.
Navigate Your Ventures is saying, is the one pot HELOC still have a low introductory APR?
I don't think so, right?
Well, I don't want to give you an exact number. It was 8.18. I saw it at 8.25. So it's somewhere in that range right now.
Hey, to go back to Andrew though, somebody should link Brent Carlson's contact info.
Yeah.
To talk about the trust and different things.
We usually make personal introductions on that one so that we know where they came from. But yeah.
Steven, can you put Brent Carlson's link in there?
Who's asking?
Hannah.
Shauna?
Where do you want me to put it?
In the chat.
What chat?
Of this thing for somebody. And then Liz is back and saying, if a client wants to start a policy to invest into a franchise, is that something you've helped someone through? What's that process look like? I think of this scenario all the time. Like when people because I get targeted on Instagram with buy a franchise for 40 grand or whatever. And I don't it's just, I just swipe through it or whatever. But I mean that when Chris does the car example, I think why can't you just put something else in there?
I did that. I bought a franchise with the policy money.
What kind of franchise?
The signs, right?
Yeah, Card My Yard.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it's all the same thing, Liz. No matter what you're financing, we build the policies to help. If you're buying a 30 or 40 or 50,000, $100,000 franchise, we would help set it up. So you, depending on how you can capitalize it, right? Depending on how you're putting the money into the policy, we'll set it up so you take the loan out and buy the franchise. Sure. Buying a car or paying for college or going on a vacation or whatever you might do.
Shauna, that's technically what you're going to be doing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm doing it right now. I got it ready.
What is it? What's happening?
I'm going to Truck Town with Joe.
Also, Gabe started his entire MMA studio with a policy, which is not a franchise, but it's same idea.
Yeah, he's actually grown that, Liz, which is really cool. Like he started his dream with the policy, and now he's using it to buy, uniforms and drinks and things that are needed at the facility, at the dojo. So it's super cool.
And she's asking, is that a dump in then? So sometimes some people will do dump ins into their policy. I know, like Gabe, for instance, Gabe did do a dump in into his policy to start the dojo. What do you call it? Just dojo?
Mojo Dojo Casa House.
But it just depends. I would kind of work it backwards. Like sometimes when I'm having those conversations, I ask, okay, well, what is that dollar amount that you need to start this business venture? Then work it backwards. Okay, so how much premium ongoing are we comfortable with? And then from there, with the capital that's left over, that's what's dumping.
And that's always that's for me, Hannah, what you just said is always the objective of the strategy call, right? It's like, what is your goal? The better and clearer that you have on your vision, whether it's debt, whether it's making a major purchase or an investment or franchise or whatever, when you have that thing that you can start with, you're learning how to run the banking system. That gives you progress. And if you can link that to your big goal, passive income, time freedom, relationship freedom, contribution in the future, that makes it the perfect learning environment to keep growing over time and adding more wealth warehouses. Like that's the ideal scenario. It's way harder when someone comes in. I forget who was asking earlier. Hey, how do I have my friend who doesn't want to pay interest? Like that to me is the hardest conversation because they're set in their mindset of how they're going to do stuff. And they don't have a current problem they're trying to tackle with a new financing system that they control. Like that's where that one's harder. But if they're not interested, it's like Nelson said, you can't teach this. They have to catch it, right? It's not taught, it's caught.
And then Anderson saying, so he's utilizing it like Doris, Christopher, or Walt Disney. So yes, I do. So people do start their businesses absolutely this way. All right,
I use it for founding fathers all the time. I mean, use it for marketing, use it for 1099 contractors to do editing, just like whatever business needs you have, you can use your policy for, and you can write yourself promissory notes and things for those things. So not advice, just sharing what I do.
Yeah. And I think that's it for right now. We're at 5:30. We have no real questions. Is there anything else anybody wants to hit on?
Yeah, I want some encouragement. I have this thing where I committed to go in the cold plunge for 66 days. I've been being a wuss since Hurricane Milton. I kind of didn't go in for like a month. And so today's day number 6, but I haven't made it yet. Now it's dark out. So now it's going to be like cold and cold.
Come on up here and roll around in the snow. You'll have fun.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason, do you want the pain of discipline or the pain of regret?
Oh, snap.
I'm going. I have my bathing suit. Where is it? It's I think it's already downstairs. I'm ready. I'm going. And the bathing suit's still wet from yesterday. So how lovely that is.
You need to buy 2 and just rotate them out every other day.
Well, I have another one. I just have to find that one too.
So then one will be dry. All right, this one's wet today. Okay, this one will be dry tomorrow.
That's all. Just send some warmth to me while I go get cold before I go to Taekwondo. So
We do have one quick question that came in at the end. Michael is saying, at age 66, retired, can I fund our living expenses with a policy loan? Social Security pays us $4,000 a month.
Brianna actually does it that way. She puts everything on credit card at the end of the month. She takes a policy loan, pays the credit card, and then when the checks come in, she puts it back into the policy.
Almost like a first lien HELOC but with a policy.
Yeah.
I've also heard Devin does that as well.
So, all right, I have to jump. I have to go get Ariana.
No, real fast, Joe, before you go, I wanted to bring up one last thing. So we're all going to Sundance in February. Hannah, Shauna, myself, HELOC Joe. I don't know if we can get Brian out there, Simple, but a lot of us are going to be out there, a bunch of cool people. Joe, can you just tell us about it? You've been to so many experiences, man. What do you think?
I love Sundance, and I especially like that they have the. Will you stop that?
Ow.
I like the spas. I'm gonna be. I like the hot water little things. I'm interested in that. That's
Yeah,
kinda
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Anyways, we're all going to be there for the entire time. We're going to be hanging out, talking business, talking success, talking money. So we wanted to invite all of you because it's coming up soon. We're only going to do one experience mastermind in 2025, and it's in February. So that's going to be the next live event. Come chat with us and hang out. Chris Noggle is kind of backing away from being available at live events and phone calls and things. So this is probably one of the only events in 2025 you'll be able to actually spend 3 full days with Chris and our executives. We're going to bring in a bunch of really cool experts and business people. And so join us in Sundance. It's one of the most beautiful places in the country. And Hannah, I know you're kind of the same. You got a lot of travel, so you're kind of in and out a lot of these events, and it's hard to get any like one-on-one time with you. So I know people are really excited about being able to hang out and chat with you and get into stuff. So I just think it's gonna be a really cool event. It's gonna sell out quick, and February's coming up fast with the holidays. So just encourage everyone to go ahead and get your ticket for that. Get it on the calendar and get it scheduled because it's really gonna be an awesome event. And then shortly after that, of course, we have on the East Coast of Florida. Money Master Live in Tampa, Florida, March 1st and 2nd. But again, that's more of a stage speaking event in a ballroom all day long, that kind of thing. The experience is more out there doing stuff together and living life. So a couple little differences. Both can be awesome events. Just wanted to mention both. And what's the website for Money Master? Is it
moneygamelive.com.
Money Game. Sorry, I keep saying Money Master. That's Joe.
moneygamelive.com.
So moneymastergame.com.
Steve wants to get removed from the speaker lineup. That's what I.
Oh, I sent you my topics today. The little green men. That was Shauna's idea. All right, cool guys. Take us home. Simple.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for being here. Another wonderful Wednesday. Ask Me Anything. We'll be back next week for the second week of December, closer to the holidays. So come bring some cheer, joy, fun, and maybe a beverage with you.
Cool.
Until next
Joe,
time.
Brian, Shauna, Hannah, Jason, thanks for being here. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Ciao.